It's finally here, the product you have all been asking for. And no, it's not another April Fool's joke. It's real and it's here. Remote start for your BMW. That's right, this is not a joke. Remote start for your BMW is here. And Jarrett is going to be installing it in our F30. But before we get to that, let's learn a little bit more about this remote start kit. For all the details on the kit, click the link in the description for a full video. But since this is just an installation, let's learn a little bit about the basics. If you want to get right to the installation, go to this time in the video. After you get your remote start installed, you'll be able to take full advantage of what newer BMWs have. This is compatible with most F and G series BMWs produced after 2012. In order to check if your car is compatible, go to the product page and decode your VIN, link in the description. To start your BMW, simply hit the lock button on your key fob 3 times and it will start. To turn it off, hit the trunk button 3 times after the vehicle is running. If you don't turn it off, it will shut itself off after 20 minutes. This is perfect for those hot summer days or cold winter mornings. Now, the next time you get into your car, you could set it to the temperature that you want. Simply set your desired temperature before you get out of your car that day or night, and the next time you start your car from afar, the HVAC system will turn on as well, setting the interior of your car to the temperature that you desire. And that means no more frosted windshields for our friends up north.
What is that?
It's a TikTok thing, Chaz. Unlike the OEM BMW Remote Start, BeamerTech's Remote Start Retrofit doesn't require activating the feature in your BMW iDrive. However, it requires a spare key fob installed in your BMW at all times. It will be permanently attached to a module under the front passenger's footwell panel. This ensures that your onboard computer will recognize the presence of a BMW key fob and will allow engine activation. Having the second key is necessary for activation. If you don't have a spare BMW key fob to use for the installation purposes, please add the BMW key fob to your order. Now that you know how it all works, let's get to the installation. Jarrett, take it away. Let's first start off with prepping the kit to go into the car. This will mean getting your second key fob ready to be installed. Start by locating the key fob enclosure and unscrew the 4 Phillips screws holding it together. Once open, remove the circuit board. Now let's get your fob ready. Remove the key blade by pressing the small button on your fob. Once out, insert it into the other side of the fob and pry up to pop the battery cover off. Use a small tool or your finger to pop the battery out. Take the permanent power supply and insert the green side up in the battery tray of the fob. On the circuit board, use your finger or trim tool to gently flip up the retaining clip on the socket for the ribbon cable. Gently insert the ribbon cable into the socket. Tweezers may help. Snap the retaining clip down, and the ribbon cable should be locked into place. Orient your key fob like so and use tape to secure it into place. Place the circuit board with the key fob back into the enclosure and screw it back together. Now let's move to the car. Anytime you're working on anything electronic in your BMW, you're going to want to disconnect the battery. Remove the cover in the trunk and with a 10mm socket, remove the negative battery terminal and set it out of the way. Since your car will have no power and you're modifying your trunk, take a towel and tie it around the trunk latch so if it closes, you don't get locked out. It will go near the bottom side of the glove box, so to get access to that area, we need to start removing some trim. Start by pulling on this door sill trim. If the fasteners stay behind, carefully use a BeamerTech trim tool to pop them out and place them back into the door sill trim for reinstallation later. Now we have to remove the passenger foot panel. Take a 10mm socket and remove the 2 nuts holding it in place. Once free, remove the connectors you find and set the panel aside. Now let's move on to the side panel. Simply grab it and give it a good tug. Next, remove the screw holding this plate in place, and then remove the plate. It's time to get the harness installed. First, the simple stuff. Let's start by getting the ground ready. Take your 10mm socket and loosen this bolt here. You don't need to take it all the way out. Take the fork connector on the harness and slip it behind the bolt. Tighten the bolt back down and you're good. Now we need to get the fuse connector ready. First, grab your fuse puller, which you should have in the rear fuse panel of your car, and remove the lowermost fuse in the line. Add that fuse to the open slot on the connector of the harness, and then plug the connector into the fuse panel like so. Let's move on to the slightly more challenging stuff, repinning. We're going to need access to this black connector first. With the trim tool, press in the center tab to unlock the locking arm and then rotate the arm up. The arm will cam the connector out of the socket and you can remove it. The connector acts as a sleeve which holds the pin retainers inside. Carefully use a pick tool to pry the sides of the sleeve away and slide the inside retainers out. Next, slide the retainers apart. On the gray retainer, remove pin 49, which is the yellow and brown wire. Take your pick tool and carefully press down the locking tab while applying upward tension on the wire. The locking tab will latch again on the next position, so press it down again and remove the wire. Since putting this pressure on the thin locking tab may bend them slightly, use a blade or similar tool to carefully bend them back out slightly. Now it's time to pin in the first of the Beamer Tech harness. Take the orange cables and snap the BMW yellow and brown wire into slot 1 of the orange Beamer Tech harness. It will line up with the orange and black wire. Then, take the non-connected orange and black wire on the Beamer Tech harness and snap that into slot 49. Slide it all the way in until it clicks. Give it a small tug to make sure it's seated properly. Now we have to do the same with pin 50, which is the yellow with red wire. Use your pick tool and remove it the same way you did pin 49. Upward tension, press the tab once, then again, and gently bend it back into place. Take that wire and slide it into pin 4 of the Beamer Tech harness, which will match up with the solid orange wire. Once both wires are seated, snap the connector shut to lock the pins in place. Plug the connected pins into the Beamer Tech harness and finish up with this section by taking the non-connected solid orange cable and snapping that into the pin 50 slot on the BMW connector. Slide the 2 halves of the connector together. To rebuild the connector, line up the tabs on the connector sleeve with the tracks in the pin retainers and slide the 2 together until they click. To reattach the connector, make sure the arm is all the way up. Line up the connector and push it in as you rotate the arm down. You will feel it pull in and snap into place. You're now a pro at repinning, so let's do it a few more times. Now the white connector. Like the last one, press in the tab, then rotate the arm to free the connector. Again, with your pick tool, open the sides of the sleeve to free the pin retainers. Jarrett didn't have the need to slide these apart, so you can keep them together. Locate pin 45, which should be the green with yellow stripe wire on the gray retainer, and remove it like the rest. Upward tension, then pick tool in the tab once, then a second time, and then finally bend the tab back into place. Grab the blue cables in the Beamer Tech harness. Snap the green and yellow stripe wire into slot 2, which is the center pin that lines up with the light blue wire. Take the non-connected light blue wire on the BeamerTech harness and snap that into slot 45, where you just took the green with yellow wire out of. For the last one here, locate pin 49, which should be the pink with purple stripe. Now, the TPPB method again. Tension, poke, poke, bend. Insert the BMW wire into slot 1 of the BeamerTech harness, which will line up with the dark blue wire. Snap the retaining clip down like you did before and connect the two. Finally, take the non-connected dark blue wire and snap that into slot 49 of the BMW retaining clip. Slide the retaining clips into the connector sleeve. Make sure the arm is all the way up, insert the connector into place, and rotate the arm down to lock it. Let's move on to this second black connector with white arm. Press the tab, rotate the arm, and remove the two connectors. Open the sides of the sleeve to free the pin retainers. On the blue retainer, locate wire 22, which is the yellow wire with blue stripe. Implement the TPPB method.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
After that, grab the yellow and purple section of the BeamerTech harness. Pull the half of the connector out by pressing the tab down and pulling. To open the connector to seat the pins in, take your pick tool and lift up the small tab near the middle and slide the connector apart. The yellow with blue stripe wire will connect to the yellow wire in the BeamerTech harness. It may help to partially put this part of the connector back in so you can verify you're putting the right wire in the right spot, like Jarrett is demonstrating. Then, like the other times, take the non-connected yellow wire and snap it into slot 22 on the blue pin retainer. After that, slide the two connectors back into the sleeve until they click. Then arm up, seat, and arm down. The purple wire goes to a different set, so now the black connector with black arm. Tab down and rotate the arm. Pull the tabs back and slide out the gray and black pin retainers. Locate pin 30 in the black retainers and remove it. It will be the gray wire. Don't forget TPPB. Once you're set, take the purple wire from the BeamerTech harness and place that into slot 30 on the black pin retainer. Put the two retainers back into the sleeve and finish up by placing the gray wire into the other slot of the 2-pin BeamerTech connector, so it will match up with the purple wire. Reassemble the 2-pin connector by sliding the retaining clip back into place until it snaps, and then join the two parts of the connector together. Reinstall the arm connector. And now the last one. Tucked in the back is one more white connector. Pull the blue and brown pin retainers out and locate pin 16, which is the black and red wire on the blue retainer. TPPB that wire out. Take the brown wire on the BeamerTech harness and place that into slot 16. The black and red wire will be matched to the brown wire in the supplied 2-pin connector. It's just like the last one. Pull the connector out, lift the locking tab, and slide the 2 halves apart. Place the black and red wire into the correct side of the 2-pin connector. Slide the retaining plate back on and put the 2 halves of the connector together. Put the pin retainers back into the sleeve and put the connector back in place. Now it's time to start putting everything where it's supposed to go. Start by tidying up the harness to make one nice cable loom. Use cable ties and a flush cut. Take your key fob harness and plug it into the key fob box. Take the other end of that harness and plug it into the main control module. Take the 18-pin connector on the main harness and plug that into the control module. The main control module will live up here, so feed it up and out of the way. There's a good spot for the key fob box here, so put it in position. Tidy up any slack left on the harness with cable ties and push it out of the way. The module only starts the engine when the signal from the first key, the one in the pocket, is caught. After pressing the lock on the key 3 times, the second key, inside the box, is powered for a short time to be recognized by the car and let the engine start. It is absolutely not possible to start the engine with only the key inside the box, as it doesn't contain a battery. Put the cover plate back in place and screw it back down. Once done, reinstall the side kick plate. Make sure you line up the 3 pins, then snap it into place. Don't forget to put the weather stripping in place. Plug in the footwell panel and reinstall the nuts to secure it in place. Finally, reinstall the door trim and you're done with the installation. And that is how you install the BeamerTech Remote Start Kit in your F30. Do you want this for your BMW? Head on over to our website and enter your VIN to find the right kit for your ride. We are constantly working on adding this kit for more models, so check the description of this video to see if your car is on the list. For more product reviews, installation videos, tips and tricks, and so much more related to BMWs, Minis, and Supras, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell so you are notified the next time we drop a video. And hey, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.